Right, so I really thought I was going to be more organised today, but in between dithering and shouting at dogs and whatever, it is now either going to storm with rain or get dark. So let's get on with this really quickly. Right, so today's planting is another citrus ex jambhiri, which is the rough lemon. It is going in a bit of a hurry because of the weather, more on that later. So this is the third of 3 rough lemons that I got in exchange for some jackfruit seedlings. It is a very tolerant plant. This one is actually going in somewhere it can be reasonably well watered, because even though it is quite tolerant, it does want some care and attention. It did come with its own little companion plant. A little Arum lily had popped itself up in the pot next to it, but generally speaking, within the sort of Lusaka area and most sort of tropical to subtropical climates that aren't actually rainforest, if your Arums are happy growing next to your lemon trees probably aren't that happy. They might be a little bit wet, so you might want to sort of like give them a little bit more drainage or water them less. In with this one I'm putting an aloe, which I think is Aloe Jacaranda. I'm not entirely sure, I'm still waiting for it to flower. This has not been thriving in some flat ground. This little spot is right next to the drive on a slightly raised bit of garden. So hopefully it will get a bit more drainage. I'm also putting in some Kalanchoe blossfeldiana, which should be a nice little chemical barrier. I might end up adding some Plectanthrus neochilus if this gets a lot of scale, but usually the lemons aren't that vulnerable, especially if they're in a decent amount of sun, to scale compared to some of the oranges and grapefruit, because this is an area that's usually kept short and it's sort of garden rather than open grassland in the orchards part. I would like not to have a great big Dracaena growing here, so instead I'm putting in some just pieces of bamboo which will gradually rot and die, leaving this just standing by itself by the time it's big enough to mark out where it is itself. So that should be it for today. Tune in tomorrow and hopefully I will not be sprinting in and out of the house during the rain.